Seiko is a brand that has long produced some of the best value watches in the world. And one of the best examples of this is the SARB033. This watch represents everything that people love about Seiko as a brand: style, value, functionality, and above all, quality. It's an automatic, it's got a see-through case back. It feels way more expensive than it is. It has that Grand Seiko-like feel to it, and it's just an incredible watch for the price. Now, I recently got my hands on one. I found one that was like new, but on the pre-owned market, and that is important to note because this watch was discontinued in 2018, so it had a 10-year production span, and then it was replaced by a newer model. You can still find it on gray market sellers like Amazon and Joma Shop, and there's plenty of them floating around on the pre-owned market, but the price and inventory does fluctuate. Speaking of fluctuating prices and inventory, quick thank you to today's sponsor, Shoptagger. Just the other day, I was buying some new camera gear online, and during checkout, instead of doing that thing where you Google for promo codes, you end up on those sketchy coupon sites, I used Shoptagger to look for any active discount codes. And with just one click, I was positive that I was getting the best possible price. Shoptagger is a free app and browser extension that helps you shop smarter and save money when you're buying stuff online. It's very simple. When you're shopping online, either on your computer or on your phone, you just use the Shoptagger button to save anything that you like. Then you'll get a notification when that item either goes on sale or if it comes back in stock if it was out of stock. You can get these notifications via email, or you can get push notifications to your phone if you download the Shoptagger app. You can also organize your items into lists to kind of help organize your shopping so you're not just buying stuff at random. For example, I have a list of watches that I'm sort of keeping my eye on and just kind of tracking the price. But you could have a list for jackets or sneakers or home furnishings or really anything that you're trying to buy online. When you're ready to buy, you can use Shoptagger on the checkout page to scan the entire web for any active promo codes, and it'll even find the best one and apply it to your cart. This is probably my favorite feature of Shoptagger. It's kind of a no-brainer. It's free to use, and it's gonna look for promo codes for you, so I really don't see a reason not to use it. Finally, Shoptagger just launched a new cashback feature that lets you earn cash via PayPal when you buy stuff from certain brands. So if you want to start using Shoptagger today, and I think you should, check the link down below in the description to download the browser extension or the mobile app and create your free account. And a big thank you one more time to Shoptagger for supporting the channel by sponsoring this video. So after I finally got to handle this watch in person and wear it around for a little while, I just have a new appreciation for it. It feels like a watch that costs thousands of dollars. The size is flattering on most wrists. It's about 38 millimeters in diameter, and it just could be a one watch collection because you could wear it with pretty much anything. So let's talk about it. The SARB033 has these polished indexes and sharp sword style hands that help accent an otherwise flat dial. And note, this does come on a kind of like off-white cream dial variation, but I really like the matte black. If you put this on a dark leather strap, the watch is sophisticated and subdued. You could definitely wear it with a suit. It becomes very upscale. But on a bracelet, you could wear this to the beach. It's very sporty. The design is uncluttered, it's kind of minimal, and that makes this a watch that will stand the test of time. It's gonna look just as good in 50 years as it does today. Under the hood, this watch features Seiko's 6R15 automatic movement. It's a 23 joule movement that comes with a 50-hour power reserve and excellent accuracy. Unlike many other watches at this price point, the SARB033 also features a beautiful scratch-resistant sapphire crystal that meets the polished stainless steel of its case with excellent fit and tolerances. This is not a dive watch, but it does have a 100-meter water resistance rating, so you could definitely get it wet. You could swim with it, but you shouldn't go diving with it. Now, depending on its condition and where you buy it and when you buy it, this watch will run you anywhere between $800 and $1,500. If you can find it on the lower end of that spectrum or for less than $800, it's definitely a steal. And yes, that can seem pricey for a Seiko, like it's not part of the Presage line, it's not a Grand Seiko, but it kind of feels like it could be. Like, it's hard to explain. I know Seiko doesn't have the most brand cachet compared to Swiss brands, but this just feels like a very expensive high-end watch. The SARB033's bracelet is inspired by Grand Seiko bracelets, which are among the best in the watch industry. It's just solid, it's got a nice weight to it, and feels much more substantial than the price tag would suggest. It's also really comfy to wear, it doesn't pinch your skin or pull your hairs or anything like that. This quality is also present in the SARB's case. The bezel is highly polished aluminum and it contrasts nicely with the satin finish on the shoulders of the case. The sides of the case are polished as well, and the transition between these different finishes creates a depth that's usually reserved for watches that cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars more. The display case back and the signed crown are two other details that are just really cool to find on a watch in this price range, and it just creates this upscale appeal that people don't think of when they think of Seiko. Functionally, this watch has a 38mm diameter case, and that's a universally flattering size. I'd say whether you have larger than average wrists or smaller than average wrists or just dead average, this is a very wearable watch. It does have a little bit of weight, so it's got a nice wrist presence, but I don't think it's gonna feel too big or too small for anybody. It's certainly not like an oversized sports watch, but it doesn't feel dainty either. The highly polished hands and indices remain viewable in pretty much any type of lighting, even like bright sunlight, and the small lume plots around the dial make it legible in the dark as well. Unlike most affordable watches, and I use that term lightly because I know affordability is very relative depending on your budget, but this is, in the world of watches, this is relatively affordable, and most affordable watches are made, in Malaysia or Taiwan or China. Even most of Seiko's affordable models aren't made in Japan, but this one is. The movement, the case, and all of the components are all manufactured in Japan. In fact, this whole thing is assembled, so the components are from Japan, but it's also put together in Seiko's factory in Japan. I know a lot of people don't care about that, but if you're a Seiko nerd or a watch nerd, or if you do care about where your products were made, that's kind of just a nice bonus. Another cool bonus is that this technically was made as a Japanese domestic market watch. It was made for Japanese people. It wasn't made for sale in America. So we have it here through third parties, secondhand market, and gray market sellers, but it is a Japanese watch, which is probably why it's on the smaller size compared to Western standards. And to make it even more exclusive, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this watch was discontinued in 2018. So finding a brand new one is getting increasingly difficult, and prices in the pre-owned market are increasing steadily. So if you can find one of these for, $500 to $800, chances are it's going to increase in value after you buy it. I can confidently recommend this watch for almost anybody, especially if you're kind of a minimalist and you just want like one watch that you can wear in pretty much every single environment. It's not for everybody. If you have a really big wrist, this might feel a little too small for you. On the flip side, if you have a very small wrist, like 6 inches or less, this might be a little too big. But it really does straddle that line between sport watch and dress watch. It's kind of like the Rolex Oyster Perpetual line. If you really wanted a one watch collection, this would be a great choice. I've really enjoyed wearing it and test driving it, and it's given me a whole new appreciation for a brand that I really already loved. So I will link to a few different places that you could check for this watch to see if it's in stock. I would also recommend checking out Reddit's Watch Exchange and other forums that you can buy secondhand watches. And I'll also link to the model that replaced this one, which is readily available on Amazon. If you have any questions about this watch, let me know down in the comments. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, stay stylish.